best way to increase society's resistance to insulting or offensive speech is to allow a lot more of it. As with childhood diseases, you can better resist those germs to which you have been exposed. We need to build our immunity to taking offense so that we can deal with the issues that perfectly justified criticism can raise. Our priority should be to deal with the message, not the messenger. As President Obama said in an address to the United Nations only a month or so ago, laudable efforts to restrict speech can become a tool to silence critics or oppress minorities. The strongest weapon against hateful speech is not repression, it is more speech. And that's the essence of my thesis, more speech. If we want a robust society, we need more robust dialogue, and that must include the right to insult or to offend. And even if, as Lord Deere says, the freedom to be inoffensive is no freedom at all.
Well, folks, guess what? It's your lucky day. We've got Tony Wakeham's going to say a few words for you all.
Welcome to the 312th Julian Assange Sydney Town Hall gathering. We all have responsibilities. Even a baby has the responsibility to cry, to communicate its need for food and comfort. As we mature, it becomes evident to us that we need to take greater responsibility for ourselves and each other. We need to be wary of arguments that diminish our ability to take responsibility and to think for ourselves. There is, in fact, a relentless effort from those who have become used to controlling humanity to persuade us to relinquish our responsibility for thinking and speaking for ourselves. If we allow others to tell us what to think, we will become essentially helpless. If we allow others to run things without our involvement, we are surely well on the path to being slaves. What we need to do is realise the relentless force that resides in all of us. This relentless force makes us take responsibility for thinking and speaking for ourselves. We need to employ this relentless force to resist being controlled. We need to resist allowing well-funded individuals having control over what we believe. We need to resist being led by scripted politicians and take responsibility for constructing a world that works for all of us. Ultimately, we are all responsible for how the powers that be operate. We didn't ask for this responsibility, but it is nevertheless a critical responsibility that we must take if we are going to make a better world for humanity. This free speech zone at Sydney Town Hall Square provides us with the opportunity to take responsibility for ourselves. The Assange movement continues. Free, free, free the truth. Free, free, free the truth. Free, free, free the truth. Thank you.
Well, folks, it's good to be here. We really just here for one reason, and that's to stand up for human rights. And human rights encompasses free speech, free movement, freedom to work, freedom to trade, freedom in medical freedom, informed medical consent, and for some semblance of justice. This is an agreement, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Bill of Rights. These are things that have been agreed to in covenants by almost every country in the world. And these are inalienable rights that only the people can enforce. If we allow tyrants to come and throw us in jail for an opinion, and the people don't stand up for the person with a free opinion, we're all in danger of being controlled by Stasi-like secret power that's unaccountable to anybody. We've seen what they did in the Soviet Union. That is what they're trying to do to us now. Make no mistake, the digital ID is not about ID, it's about control via digital money and digital passports and surveillance, internet surveillance, and compulsion for medical procedures like vaccinations, because they say we're all going to die of the bird flu. It's so ludicrous. It only takes people to believe them. That's how they get away with it. They repeat the lies in the media. But if you do your own research, there are thousands and thousands of the world's leading experts, scientists, epidemiologists, doctors, university professors. They're all warning us. If you get on the internet, you can get to something that's pretty close to the truth, but you will not get to it if you listen to politicians and the media. They are deceiving you to believe, to be afraid, and to do what they say and be afraid not to do it, because we're all going to die of the next pandemic that Bill Gates has given billions and billions of dollars to the World Health Organization to come up with agreements where they can introduce pandemics of concern and force lockdowns, medical schedules, vaccination schedules. It's a bloody scam. The same as this climate change thing. Sure, there's climate change and there's damage being done to the environment, which has got to be dealt with. But they're not dealing with the problems to damage the environment. They're not stopping people buying plastics and throwing them around. They're not stopping wasting energy, blowing up buildings left, right and centre. They use huge amounts of energy and carbon. They want to monetize carbon. They want to be able to limit the amount of carbon you're allowed to use, and for them to be able to buy your carbon credits so they can fly around in private jets. You've just got to watch what they do. Don't listen to what they say, watch what they're doing. They're going to climate conventions in private jets. And rest assured, when they lock you down because of your carbon footprint, they're not going to be locked down for anything. These people are, in my opinion, I think, they're criminals and they should be prosecuted. Trouble is they have so much power, the judicial system is not going to work, is not going to hold them to account. The only one who's going to hold them to account is us, with free speech. So tell everybody you see, come and join us, stand up for your human rights, or rest assured you will lose them. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Billy. Bringing up the Stasi, it makes me think of a book I read a few years ago called Stasi Land, all about East Germany and people spying on their neighbours and their government spying on the people. Julian Assange was all about transparency of government, but privacy for individuals, for citizens. And I totally agree with that. We deserve privacy. And we've got some posters here saying no digital ID, no biometric face scanning. And that makes me think of exactly what they were doing in the Stasi. And is this the new Stasi land? Is the West? And as they encroach on the rest of the world, are we the new Stasi land? And I've got to wonder, I don't know about you, but I've had accounts which have been hacked with Dymix. I purchased a book online and Dymix were hacked. And also with Optus, they were hacked. And now all of my information is on the dark web. Optus came back and said, oh yes, we've got confirmation that people are trying to sell your phone number and email and personal details on the dark web. So I just wonder, is this safe and effective? Bill, can you answer that? Is this digital ID going to be safe and effective for the citizens?
It's the most dangerous thing in the world because it's really a system of complete control of every individual. Where you can go, what you're allowed to buy and sell, what you're allowed to do in terms of your carbon footprint and your medical, vaccination schedules, compulsion. Either you comply or you can have your funds, your digital money chopped off altogether. They did it with the truckers in Canada and they'll do it to you, rest assured. That was the rehearsal. This is globalist stuff. It's nothing to do with our government. Our government should not be complying with these globalist control freaks that are absolute psychopaths. They want to control everybody, they corrupt everything with money, and our own government is not standing up for our sovereignty and our human rights. And that is the reason we're here. So that's my best answer that I can give. But I'm always open-minded, and I think we all should be. You know, as Tony has said, I think we should be able to surveil the politicians, not to have them surveil us.
I was talking earlier about truth and about how we all have what we believe is our truth, is the truth. But over the last couple of years, I've come to realise that our society and all our forms of media and communication, including the mainstream media, social media, and even people with different belief systems, all have a different set of truth. And I read this many years ago on the internet and it popped up the other day. I thought I'd put it on my thing, but I didn't, so I'll read it out now. I think it's something that we all should remember. And it reads, "You must always be willing to truly consider evidence that contradicts your beliefs and admit the possibility that you may be wrong. Intelligence isn't knowing everything. It's the ability to challenge everything you know." Thank you.
各位亲爱的朋友，各位讲华语的朋友，请注意，我这边要揭开中共在澳洲的渗透。不久以前，我在 UTS 参加一场辩论会，辩论的题目是要武统台湾的正确性。这个议题是错误的。在澳洲学习的中国学生，他们来到澳洲，并不是学习如何独立思考，学习如何在民主社会有民主的价值。他们并不是在学习这个，而是在做中共特工的渗透。他们看到我非常害怕。他们害怕什么？他们害怕回去之后有跟我这种不同意见的人见了面。他们害怕什么？他们害怕我讲真话。他们害怕中国共产党如何迫害自己的人民，如何掩盖真相，如何迫害为自由发声的人。台湾是一个独立的国家，它有自己的军队，它有自己的总统，它有自己的爱护这一块土地的人民。中共不管以什么理由说要统一台湾，这些都是对人类自由的践踏，都是对民主价值的抹煞。所以台湾必须永远的独立，它不是一个附属国家，它不是一个中共的省，它就是一个国家，它就是一个国家，它就是一个国家。OK， 在中共统治下的思想枷锁，各位，如果你是中国人，你一定有跟我一样的感觉。我的朋友，他不敢讲真话，他们会自我审查，所要讲的话全部都会经过审查，他觉得这个该讲，那个不该讲。所以在这种环境之下，他们没有独立的思考，他的思考全部都是中共喜欢听的。共产党喜欢你这样做，你才能这样做。共产党说你有罪，你就有罪。朋友们，你的害怕是正确的吗？你害怕，你还要为中共共产党讲话吗？很多人在这种环境之下来到澳洲学习，居然还在伸张共产主义。你们被压迫这么久，还不清醒吗？地生和尚是我的指导学佛的老师。和尚他讲真话，他希望中国能好， 并不是因为有任何的私心，他希望中国能够自由，能够是一个讲真话的国家，能够是一个民主，而不是思想被枷锁的一个国家。他因为这样子，今年的5月29日，他讲真话，他的所有的弟子超过1700多人，全部被抓捕，被抓去审查。那有一些人，他比较坚固信仰的，他是没有办法从牢狱里出来的，甚至他们秘密被处决。这些事情没有人知道，因为当他们被抓捕、被殴打的时候，手机都被没收。中国共产党是一个不能讲真话的一个邪恶政权。如果在澳大利亚，你是一个自由的人，你是一个民主思想的人，也认同民主自由价值的人，请你勇敢地站出来，为真相而战，为自由而战，为民主价值而战。各位朋友，自由不应该被恐惧夺走，良知不应该被谎言掩埋。让我们团结，拒绝中共的渗透，守护思想自由。Freedom country, I need you speak the truth. Stand for freedom. Stand for democracy. Stand for the truth. Thank you.
Good speech.